Hello my fellow miner, I know what you are thinking about right now. A pair of big, juicy and very tasty meatballs. Whoops, sorry, that was meant for the wife. Today we'll have a look at the RTX 3080 LHR mining ERGO in 5 different difficulty levels. The first one is I am too young to die, which is also known as the YouTuber level. There's the hey, not too rough, hurt me plenty, ultra violence and nightmare. So let's have a look at the chart. I have done my research very well this time. I saw some YouTube videos which I completely disagree with, read some forum posts on Reddit which I also completely disagree with, and then I decided, you know what, I'm going to give this the full Monty and test from the very beginning as a completely new card. These are just 5 of the results. I have done over 50 different tests, and these I find the most interesting because we can also see a pattern here. Besides seeing the different hash rates here, you'll also see a very funny pattern that the more core clock, the more memory clock you'll need. They go hand in hand. You cannot have one without the other. First up is the I'm too young to die, aka YouTuber edition. I locked the core clock to 1120 and the memory clock to 1000. If we have a quick look at the hash rate, it's around 200, actually 199 point something. And if we have a look in hardware info, we'll see the average power consumption is around 166 watts. The balance between core clock and memory clock here is quite good, and we can see that by looking at LHR2. It's at 100 and actually doesn't move down. Let's have a look at the average result. 199.1 megahash per second at 166 watts, which gives an efficiency of 1.199. So it's quite efficient and definitely a level you want to play on if you are too young to die. Now before we go to the next one, I need you to look me deeply in the eyes. You look like someone who hasn't subscribed yet. It's about time you click subscribe. Look at my sad eyes. It's like a puppy donkey. Don't you want to see more of this? Subscribe for more. Up next is the hey, not too rough, which is a perfect example of what happens if you don't balance memory and core clock. I locked the core clock at 1605 and now you're like, that is too high, he's crazy, yada yada, blah blah blah. No, it's actually perfectly fine, and you will see in the next why it makes sense. But 1605 and the memory clock at 1300. You can see the average power consumption is around 197. While the hash rate has gone up to 214. However, LHR tune is now at 96. Let's have a look at the average result. 214 megahash per second at 197 watts, which gives an efficiency of 1.086. Definitely not the best efficiency we have ever seen, and that is due to LHR being at 96, which is due to an imbalance between core clock and memory clock. Luckily for us, that is something we can easily fix. But first, if you want to help me out, share my video with other people you know that like ERGO or should try ERGO, try and send them this video. And if you're a YouTuber who has made a video about ERGO with the RTX 3080 at 1120 core clock, then please know that I mean no ill will. I am just joking. I was dropped on the head as a kid many times, so it's not actually my fault. It's time to level up to one of the more fun levels, hurt me plenty. Again, I locked the core clock to 1605 and this time the memory clock to 1700. As you can see, LHR2 is now at 100, which means we actually have a good balance between memory clock and core clock. If you're thinking that you can't possibly run 1700 on memory, of course you can in ERGO. It's easy and your memory won't even get that hot. Now let's actually have a look at the average result. 225.3 megahash per second at 198 watts, which gives an efficiency of 1.138. That is a gain of 11.3 megahash per second for 1 watt more. All due to a good balance between core clock and memory clock. Now look at how happy she is with her donkey. Wouldn't you like to be this happy with your donkey? All you have to do is click like on the video and you're one step of the way to true happiness with a donkey. Now it's time for the more violent ones. If you're a bit squeamish, now is the time to turn off YouTube. because this is ultra violence. Again, I locked the core clock to 1605 and the memory clock to 2000. As I always do, as the very first thing when I do a memory clock tweak is to look at the memory clock temperature. So it's at 72 degrees, which is in the very good range of completely fine. If you notice the mega hash, you can see that it's actually jumping between 25 and 26. So that is a sign that we have a little bit too much memory and we could do with more core clock. Now let's have a look at the average result. 225.9 megahash per second at 200 watts, which gives an efficiency of 1.130. This time we gained 0.6 megahash per second at a whole 2 watts extra. Looks like we have completed the game and we can go to sleep now and never play it again. However, as it always is, when you complete the game on the hardest difficulty, another one just unlocks. We have not maxed out the card yet, and we will definitely have a look at Nightmare. Let's have a look at the final level, Nightmare. This time I locked the core clock at 1650 and the memory clock at 2100. In other words, we buffed both a little bit. I bet you are sitting and thinking that at 2100 memory clock, the car will explode soon and Donkey will burn. Well, if I have released this video, then I didn't die and everything went just fine. The fan speed is unchanged at 80% and the memory is still quite cool at 72 to 74. So absolutely no BBQ risk here. Now let's have a look at the average result. 232.2 megahash per second at 210 watts, which gives an efficiency of 1.106. Upping the core clock with 45 MHz actually gave a lot. I hope that you enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe, share, hit the bell notification and dance around the Christmas tree. See you in the next one. Oh, by the way, extra level unlocked. Since we have leveled up, it is time to actually have a look at the earnings difference between the different levels. Of course, the prices are based on today's prices and not future prices, but you can use this as a good indicator of what you can expect pay-wise between the different levels. Taken from what to mine with a power cost of $0.1, we can see that I'm Too Young to Die would net you $3.04, which is quite fine actually, but if you compare it to something like Hurt Me Plenty, you'll get 40 cents more, which is a huge difference. From Hurt Me Plenty to Nightmare, you will only earn 9 cents more per day, which is, if you ask me, not really worth the extra wear and tear on the graphic card. So, for me personally, Hurt Me Plenty is the best mode to run this card in. But let me know in the comments what you think. Which one would you run and why? See you in the next one.